I'm a one in the hood, G.
Alright, this compilation's gotta have one of everything. One of everything! And as such, they gotta put a shmup in there. But this one's not your typical shmup, you see, because you drive a car. I'm 25 and I drive a car. And every game in this compilation also has a twist on its gameplay formula, typically. They don't just have normal games, they gotta have twisty games. It's more twisty in here than Ricky Berwick's X-Rays. So the twist of this one is you get more powerful bullets, not by picking up some floating item, but instead you get more powerful bullets by doing a sick drift. Yeah, meow, 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 meow. Cool stuff, I gotta say. Can't you hear the excitement in my voice? So yeah, a shmup where you're a guy driving a car. Around 2012, there was a story in the news about how there was a guy going around the highways. He was shooting at people from his car, and I guess that's where the idea for this came from. Shigeru Miyamoto's taken inspiration from the right sources, I must say. So anyway, when you shoot that truck twice, the piece that it leaves behind kind of looks like a green fist holding a paintbrush almost. See, back when games looked like this, you had to use your imagination to figure out what things were. Anyway, I was just thinking it almost looks like the logo for some kind of art software for artsy-fartsy people with green hair and lots of tattoos. And I don't use Photoshop or GIMP. I use United Green Fist art software. I don't know, I'm just spitballing here. So now we're fighting a blimp. Oh, the humanity. Haha, get it? Cause we're trying to shoot it down. Hottest joke in 1930 whatever. So yeah, that wasn't too bad. You get to go to a special bonus level if you get through the level without losing any lives. That's kinda neat, huh? They got a bonus level, huh? And here it is. Look at this, it's Breakout. It's Breakout, Larry! Who the hell's Larry? It's Breakout, Jerry! I need some new fucking jokes, even I'm getting tired of this. So yeah, I guess it's Breakout and it's also a shmup. They're expecting you to do two things, you see. So the theme of this next level is geometric shapes. Yeah, how about that? They didn't just pick that at random though, that's there for an express purpose, you see. Because they're trying to tell the story of a fictional game system, and this is supposed to be a late game in the life cycle of that fictional game system, so here's where they figured out how to totally master the hardware and push it as far as it could go, so they could have three-dimensional shapes and rotating sprites. This would have been groundbreaking stuff if this had come out in 1989, you see. Groundbreaking stuff. Far above and beyond what an actual 8-bit system could do. An NES could not rotate a sprite. Not like that. Not like that. Why, in all my 40 years of living, I ain't never seen a sprite rotate like that. I tell you, not since the great rotation of 75. I don't know. Who is this character? What the hell is this autistic garbage? We need better jokes. We gotta get like a comedian in here. I gotta splice in some audio of, who's that one guy? Pat Kilbane, yeah, there we go. GameSack had a cameo from Pat Kilbane of SNL fame once, because they needed to spice up the comedy. Maybe I could do that. When I was struggling to think of that guy's name a moment ago, I almost called him Pat Tillman instead. Oh, Pat Tillman. Didn't think you'd hear that kind of reference on an episode like this, did you? Ooh, we've evolved from cubes to spheres. Try not to wet yourself. I was just setting the microphone down for a moment. I didn't collapse out of my chair. Not just some fat guy falling over like the Nintendo shit cube guy, just thump. No, that's not what that was. Anyway, so there's an ongoing conversation on the internet where they're analyzing every game in UFO 50, and they're saying this game is like this game, and trying to come up with a comparison for all 50 games, and it's going to take a while before they get to Seaside Drive, because this is game number 41 of 50, and they're only looking at one game per day to keep the engagement going anyway, so I guess I'll ask you, the dirty, unwashed masses, what game is this most like to you? Perhaps is it like Outrun for the Sega Master System? They've both got cars and tropical settings. I think if you just took Outrun and rotated the camera, and then also added a whole bunch of extra shit and completely changed what the gameplay was, it would basically be the same thing. So yeah, this is basically Outrun for the Sega Master System. It is way too easy for me to fall back on that, what the hell's his name? Classic Game Room, there we go. It's way too easy for me to fall back on my old Classic Game Room Mark Bustler impression whenever mentioning old Sega content. What has anybody even checked up on that guy lately? I know he came back for a while, but I think that kinda just kinda went nowhere. Mans doesn't know what he wants to do. The pattern on these enemies is kinda tricky. It's certainly a choice to have a Halloween-themed level in a game that only has 5 levels to begin with. This game is 20% spook. Can you say that? I don't think you can. Anyway, it just kind of reminds me how of Gex, the original one. The first level of that game was a Halloween level for some reason. And if you're like most people who played Gex, you probably didn't get past the first level, so you never would have known that the overarching theme of Gex was that it was TV and movies. You thought it just opened on Halloween and you figured the whole game was like that.
I just got here and the skeletons, I don't know what's going on. I thought it was always like this.
You know, if I had worked at whoever made Gex 30 years ago, I probably would have tried to have a level that's more generally TV themed to establish the theme. Oh, it's the company mascot, the fictional UFO soft mascot. That's a callback, you see. A callback to a game that doesn't actually exist. Well, technically it exists within UFO 50, but you get what I'm saying. There's deep lore, you see. There's quite the hidden backstory in all of this, actually. Apparently there's like a secret overarching, I don't want to call it an RPG, but an overhead walking around type game about the history of UFO soft, and you play as a disgruntled employee who doesn't like how things are being run, and it's like they left the source code for this one game just sitting in a desk. How wasteful. And there's no more bananas in the refrigerator, and Rob just forgot to put on clothes today when he came into work. Working here sucks. I like the way they did this boss here. That's kind of clever how the moon turns into his eyes. I certainly wouldn't have thought of that. I can tell you that much. So I suppose the most obvious comparison to what we're looking at on screen would be the Master Hand of Smash Bros. Fame. When I was just a wee little baby boy watching the older kids play Smash Bros. 64 at I almost said the dentist office for some reason at the daycare center. I was all, wow, this is amazing. There's a big hand, and also there's Pokemon. My two favorite things. Wow. I don't know. We almost got him. You can see the distress on his face. They made a whole separate sprite just to indicate that you're getting close. They getting close. And there you have it. Not too bad. I think to get the cherry in this one, the high score needs to be like 32 something, roughly double what we have now. And of course there's only so many levels, so you have to get that within a limited time frame, you see. Look, it's Shamu, viewer. Remember Shamu the whale from SeaWorld from the 90s? Remember? Remember the bug planet Vegeta, remember? I went to SeaWorld when I was just a wee young thing. They had like a weird movie where the movie screen was like porous and they would like shoot water at the screen out onto the people sitting in the theater. I wonder how they even made that work, to be honest. I wonder. Watch out, the whales are quite deadly, just like in real life, like that one incident where that lady, well, I guess it's too late. I guess you won't get to see what the final boss is like unless you watch a better channel, I guess.